Hello everyone, how's it going? Dr. Incompetent here, and let's play some Valheim, continuing our complete beginner's guide and making some progress. So we've got 3 food buffs on, which means we're ready to go. Let's look at what we have here. We have some scraps, and we have wood, stone, resin, raspberries, raw meat, cooked meat. Oh, and a bad guy who wants to come and say good morning. Alright, now watch this. So, we killed this guy, we got his resin, but you'll notice we damaged our house. So all you have to do is select your hammer, and when you mouse over sections of things that you've built, even our workbench, you can see they have a health bar which indicates their durability, and you can just left click on that. It takes no resources with your hammer, and you just fix it back up. So if you accidentally have to fight next to somebody and you hit your own stuff, or a tree falls on your stuff, or an enemy attacks your house or something like that, you can just do that. Alright, so now we need to keep exploring so we can find things in the environment to give us more crafting ideas. So I'm just going to wander this way, and I'm pushing back the fog of war, just creating a kind of a basic circle around our area, and trying to find some new things. I mean, here's branches, but we're familiar with that. And here's some trees, and oh, mushroom. Fantastic. So this is a new item. This is a mushroom. It's another food item. You can pick them up right there. And if you want, you can push M to open the map, take a dot, and put a note for yourself that mushrooms can grow there. So certain items in the environment, berries, food like that, mushrooms, things that grow, they will repopulate. There's some deer over here. That deer has already seen us, alas. So if you mark on your map where raspberries are, or where mushrooms are, or something like that, you could come back after time has passed, and they may very well be back. But branches or stones that you pick up off the ground... Now, the reason I started running right there is because I ran out of stamina. It takes stamina to sneak, so I would have had to stop to recharge my stamina to sneak up on that deer. And we didn't. Alright, here's another deer. And sometimes you can just try to run right at them, but you can see how fast they are, that it's not really the best idea. Oh, but we did find a bad guy, and he'll want to fight. That's fine. Okay. Pick up his resin, pick up a stone, put my axe away. And now I'm just kind of wandering around still. If I open my map, you can see here's the stones. I'm just kind of working this area to see what we can find. Now, this gives me an indication, well, here's the boss, but we are nowhere close to ready for that. Ooh, look, something new. It is a dandelion. I'm going to pick it up. And, oh no, we already have dandelion. Never mind. I lied. But, regardless, we want to try to pick up everything that we can that might look new. And even stuff that looks old. I mean, if I go to push tab, you can see I'm at 104 out of 300 pounds. So I have a lot of room to carry things, and I might as well. And from up on this ridge, let's see if we can see anything noteworthy. Sometimes with the high ground, you can spy things. Alright, well, there's lots of sticks. Not bad, but... Ah, look at this. Cool. Okay, so we have found a little structure, and this is like you can make up your own idea, and you will as you explore, like, what this might be. It looks like a house, and there's human skeletal remains inside. So you want to pick these up, and you want to get bone fragments, and pick these up and get bone fragments. And bone fragments are a nice crafting item that we're going to need. So it's terrific to find those. I'm going to pick up these dandelions. I think I did mention these. Yeah, dandelions won't have a use for us right now, but you'll need... The way that the game works, basically, is you'll need everything at some point, so you might as well have it. Some more than others, of course, but, you know, you'll need to get lots of things, and so you might as well gather things as you find them and save them for later, because you never know, like, when you find some new crafting recipe or cooking recipe or something where it's like, oh, now this item is worth something. Now, I'm not going to label this mushroom spot again because it's so close to my other mushroom spot that I feel good. All right, we need to eat berries. But keep in mind, instead of eating berries, we could eat mushrooms. Mushrooms give you 15 health and 15 stamina. And so they're very, very nice and balanced. I'm just eating raspberries because they give you more stamina. And right now, we're using stamina primarily. We're like running around. All right. Okay. And let's just kind of tool around over here. Pick up all these stones and see what's on this. I'm going to kind of expand just because I see a cliff here. And wow. Okay, there you go. Look at this. We've got a mountain, and then there's a river down there, and then there's like another mountain. So I'm going to follow this river because there's good items near water, but I don't really want to fall down this cliff face. It's a bit of a steep drop off, so I'm going to map it, but I'm going to probably avoid doing that for now. You can take a look up into the sky and, you know, try to get a sense for what time of day it is based on if you can, yeah, the sun is over there, and you can orient using the arrow in the lower left of your mini-map. A bit if you want to be like, okay, well, the sun, you know, rises in the east and sets in the west. But what I do is I just look for the way that... Oh, here we go. This is perfect. Okay. I look at just the lighting to indicate when it's, you know, going to be getting closer to sleep time. And we definitely want to get home and not be outside at night. That is a best practice for Valheim. Do not try to avoid being outside at night. Like in the beginning of the game, you can maybe get away with it, maybe. But as it gets harder, you will get punished for being out at night. And you want to be safe and just sleep through the night so you don't have to deal with any kind of disasters. Now look what we found here. We come over a ridge and there's water. And then there's like a little settlement here with some lean-tos. So we can come over here and looks like... Oh, okay. Well, unfortunately we don't have a bow, but there is a beehive right there. So there's a lot to talk about with what we see right here. I'm going to pick up these raspberries. Again, I'm not going to spoil anything, but you'll start to find things like this. Like, and this is what's so great about the game as you go out and explore. We found a little stone house. Now here's some lean-tos, and you'll find these ruins. Places that have either been abandoned or destroyed, and you can freely take these and use them as your own, gathering the resources that are here and anything else that might be here. Now this beehive is great because we can get honey from it, and we can get a queen bee, which will allow us to grow our own honey and then have it like a little beehive. apiary kind of thing, but we need to defeat that, and we're going to get hit by the bees, and we don't have a bow. A bow would be ideal. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to build a workbench right here. Well, wherever I can. Perfect. And then I'm going to take out my hammer, actually, and I'm just going to put it on repair, and I'm going to just break all of this stuff and get some of these resources. So you're just getting free wood, basically, by doing this. And, whoa, we got a different kind of wood. So you see that this beam that runs across the top is actually a piece of core wood, which, if I open my inventory, you'll see it right here, core wood. This is a different kind of wood, and it says perfect for building log cabins, and different recipes use core wood, so we've just unlocked a whole bunch of new things. Now, what I'm going to try to do, and I might have to run away, I've got full health and stamina and everything, is destroy the structure around the beehive to see if it will fall and break on its own, so that I don't have to disrupt the bees. But I don't know how well that's going to work. Boy, it's really, really nestled to this post right there. There it goes. All right. And we got it. Okay, great. So if you can do that, you can break the beehive without having to fight, get stung by the bees. And what this means is, watch this, I'm going to walk over. You can see right there on the ground, there's a queen bee. So we pick it up, and we got a queen bee, which allows us to build a beehive, but we also got honey. Honey is an amazing food. It gives you 35 stamina. Now, it doesn't last as long. It's only 15 minutes. So, like, you know, your cooked meat here lasts 20 minutes. These berries last 10 minutes. But it's hard to get at first, but if you can get enough queen bees and have enough honey growing at your base, then you will have plenty of honey, and it's a fantastic stamina food. So that's a huge get for us. I'm going to just pick up these branches. I'm going to look at my weight situation. I'm doing great. Okay, and we can pick up these stones from this fire ring. I'm actually going to start heading home now because it's getting on in terms of the night. And so, but before I do, I want to see, can I get down to the riverbank here? Okay, great. I can. All right, so you see in the splash in the water right there, there are enemies that live in the water in the meadow areas that are called necks. And these are probably necks right here is what I'm guessing. So let's get our axe out and be ready for them. Now we're about to run out of food. So I want to eat both kinds of food so that I'm at full health if we have to fight. There's a bunch of necks there. It's not just one. I want to fight only one at a time, so I'm going to try to kind of like curl around. But when you find water, that's one of your objectives early on. Oh, it's a boar too. Great. When you want to try to find water, which is kind of why I've been sweeping around looking for it. And you see we found this river up here because there's a lot of things that can happen. First of all, check this out. Flint. Okay, pick that up. Boom. And now we just learned how to make a flint axe, a flint knife, a chopping block, a tanning rack. This is what I was looking for. Necks are great, but flint was really it. So flint is a different kind of stone that you can only find near water. So you see these are just regular stones like this. You get these. Okay, that's great. But once you find some water, and even in the water, if you're looking, you might find some flint. So just walk up and down the shore and get as many pieces of flint as you can. At this point in the game, you're going to need it. It just gives you better tools, and it lets you build some incredibly important items like the tanning rack, which will level up your workbench and allow you to craft even more things. All right, so we're going to go into the water. And here, now while I'm shallow in the water, I'm not wet. I'm not having anything negative. By the way, these cattails, you can't do anything with these. They're just decorative. When I first started playing, I kept trying to gather them, like in Vintage Story or something. You can't. Okay, so we found water, and that's great. And now we're going to head home because I don't want to be out at night. So I'm going to put my axe away, and I'm going to look at the map. And if I just head exactly the way I'm facing, I will get home. So let's just do that. We're going to have to uncover some map along the way, but that's okay. We'll come back to the water when it's daytime to get more flint, okay? And we're walking through this kind of open field with rocks everywhere. And there's some boar here. And dimes to donuts, that sign right there, the red stone, is going to tell you about boars, like the stone that we already saw. Because there's boars all around it. So it's just contextual. But anyway, how close are we to home? Getting there. Let's run. I'm going to run and just kind of let off running to refill my stamina. And I'm going to run some more. Now, I might as well just... I'm going to pull out my bad torch and just walk with this. Oop, we got some berries. That's great. And we found our house. How about that? Okay, we're going to run. And I'm going to put my torch away. I'm just going to go inside. You can see our fire has died out. So I could put some fuel in there just for illumination. And I'm going to close this door. And I'm going to sleep. Excellent. Okay, terrific. So we're rested, we've slept, and now it's time to get cracking. So it's day 6, and what we want to do is immediately bust out our hammer and see what we can build. And you'll see in the crafting tab, we can build the beehive, which we want to build right away. I'm just going to build it over here. It doesn't ever hurt you if it's near your area, so you don't have to worry about that. I'm just going to kind of put my bees over here, and you need... To build a beehive, you need 10 wood, a queen bee, and a workbench, as it says on the instructions. And so we can build one for every queen bee that we find. Every hive that you find out in the wild will have a queen bee in it. And it says here the bees are happy when you check on them. And over time, you'll just be able to come over here and collect honey. Each hive that you have can store up to 4 honey. So just kind of empty them out periodically, and once you get a few of these going, you'll have like a near limitless supply of honey for yourself, which is terrific. Now, I'm going to actually eat some honey, because let's have a whole bunch of stamina. All right. Now, hives, by the way, are generally found in ruined structures. So whenever you see like an old wooden house or something like that, check it for a hive and see if you can find one in there. And you can do that destruction trick to break them most of the time, unless you have a bow, and then you can just shoot them from far away. All right, so now what we're going to do is just talk about the crafting tab. So you see we can build a chopping block and we can build a tanning rack. And you notice that these have a star in the upper left. What these do is that when you build a chopping block and a tanning rack, they don't do anything themselves. You don't interact with them. You just place them, and they will connect to our workbench, and each one will level up the workbench. Anything with a star means that it will raise the level of the associated crafting station, okay? So we definitely want to build these, but you can see, for example, they take a ton of leather for the tanning rack and a ton of flint for the chopping block. In fact, the tanning rack takes even more flint. So, like I said, we're going to need a lot of flint. And then if I come over here to the workbench, first of all, best practice, just repair all your stuff. And then you'll see that we can build now a flint knife, okay? And also a flint axe and a crude bow if we get enough leather scraps. So these are all fantastic things, or a flint spear. Now, the flint knife, I don't really recommend that you build it unless you want. This is an item that is good for sneaking up and killing things. It has a huge backstab bonus, but it doesn't do anything else other than that except for slash damage, and your axe does more slash damage. So this is good if you want to like sneak up and backstab things. A shield is nice. but I don't think you need it early game. You might want it for the first boss, but right now, our priorities are going to be, we want a crude bow, okay? We can make arrows right away, but we have no need because we don't have a bow. And we want to make the chopping block, and we want to make the tanning rack. So what we're going to need to do is go back to this river and start gathering, all right? But before I do that, I'm just going to go into my house, and I'm going to go into my chest up here on the top, and I'm just going to dump things like dandelions and bone fragments and leather scraps, and it looks like I have a whole bunch of wood. I'm going to split this stack, and I'm just going to carry 10 wood with me to build a workbench and put 30 away. I'm going to put this core wood away. I'm going to put these stones away. I'll put these mushrooms away. And then in this bottom chest, I'm going to put this flint away. And I'll put my raspberries away as well for now, and my uncooked meat. I just want as much inventory space as I can possibly have, all right? I'm going to try to use up my bad torch. Now, you'll notice this is always something that you want to do when you're out in the wild, is be sure you have 10 wood. Now, you can just easily gather wood, but it's nice to just have a stack of 10 wood so that you can quickly throw down a workbench and then deconstruct something that you find in the wild or repair your equipment. So I like to carry 10 wood with me for that purpose. Now I'm just going to run back to where we were. All right, and we know where the water is. We can see it here. I'm going to take this path just to explore a little bit more. I always like to try to just uncover the map, see if there's anything cool. Here's some mushrooms. Things like this. Mushrooms are great because meat is a little harder to come by at the beginning unless you're annihilating stuff. Big stones here. So when you find something like this, okay, this is... I like to do this myself. All right, so you see like these giant stones in this circular formation here. If you find anything where you're like confused, like what is this? Just make a note of it for yourself. You know, be like stone circle or something. It doesn't have any use like right now, you know, but maybe you'll need something like this later. Or if you find a house, or if you find something you don't know what to do with it, just mark up your map liberally so that you have a better idea of where you've been as well. I think that's super helpful to just know, like, where have I been, where haven't I been, and what did I find. Like, so there's a big clearing here with, like, tree stumps and things and boulders, but nothing otherwise remarkable. So I'm going to run through. Remember, we can't find... I need this boar. We can't really find flint unless we're by the water. We need a ton of these for our bow, so let's just keep killing them. And if we want to make, you know, pants or something like that... Ooh, berries. Sweet. Anytime you can get food, it's always nice. Alright. And we're going to just mark this on the map. Oh, there's a bad guy here. Alright, you'll find this a lot. You're trying to use the map, and bad guys come out, and it's okay. It's just a great way to get some resin and to level up your skills. He hardly hurts us. Alright. Oh, boy. Okay. Alright, alright, alright. There you go, buddy. Okay. I'm actually going to remap this. I normally have the axe at 2 and the hammer at 3. That's why I keep pushing my axe button and pulling up the hammer to build something when I'm fighting. And I was just going to leave it as is, but no, I have to change it because that's what I'm used to. All right, now I'm going to mark that we found some berries right here. I like to use like little abbreviations. Oh, look at this. This is fantastic. And this is what makes the game. Like, I wasn't 100% sold on the game, but I love stuff like this. I love finding, like, look, it's an abandoned village. Like, they had a farm right here. They have fence posts. There's looks like 3 people were living here. You know, perhaps maybe they had domesticated animals, and they were just, you know, living in this settlement. Where they are now, we don't know, but we found this. So you can mark it on your map, and you can just kind of mark, you know, settlement. And let's look for some bees. Wouldn't that be nice? Let's open the door. Look up in the roof for stuff like that. Yep, look at that. There's a beehive right there, and there's also a chest with some stuff. So all we need to do is pull out our hammer, and we're going to build a workbench. And we just want to build it so that we can get all this stuff just like that. And we're going to have our hammer out. I'm going to right-click, select the hammer to get the item off. And we're just going to kind of take away whatever supports are on this hive. It falls, run away, make sure that nothing is going to fight us, and boom, we got ourselves a queen bee. And we can just break all this stuff. Now, I recommend keeping one of these shelters up if you like, because you can use this if it's raining, or you can go under it and it provides shelter, and you can actually make this into... Oh boy, we found the Black Forest. Yes, we did. Okay. I was just going to this house, but we found another biome. So let's go over here and talk to Hugin about that. And he says, turn back. This is a dangerous place. You have wandered into the Black Forest. This place can be very dangerous for those unprepared for it. Prove your worth by slaying Ekthir. So what he's basically telling you is this biome, which you will notice, okay, you see how we have all these deciduous trees in the meadows. In the Black Forest, you're going to see all these coniferous trees, these pine trees, these fir trees, okay? And Hugin is right. You don't want to have anything to do with the Black Forest right now. You want to have beaten the first boss. And really what you want is to have built everything that you can from the meadows biome. So you'll notice in the upper right, of course, I'm in the meadows. You see this grass. But if I were to travel in right up here, it's going to say I'm in the Black Forest, okay? And you could explore it if you want, but I don't recommend it. I'm just going to open this chest, and there's a free torch. Look at that. There's some flint and some arrows. And these are flint head arrows. These are better than the wood arrows that we can build. So we found some nice new arrows. So I'm just going to break all this stuff. Just take a bunch of wood. I don't want to ever... I'm going to break this so I don't accidentally try to sleep in this house, because we don't want to be in the Black Forest. Really, the way to think about progressing in the game... oh, and by the way, you see how this is green? If I break this, you'll notice that, and I break this, that just breaks, because it has no structural stability anymore. So, like, this roof here is green. If I break the piece that connects to it there, it's still green, but then if I break that, let's just wait and see. It's still getting support from somewhere. Let's break that. Break that. There it goes. And then you see how if you break all the supports under it, just like with the hive, it will just fall down and break. I'm going to break everything and just collect all of this material. We're getting a ton of wood doing this. Our weight is fine. We're not even at halfway, so it's great. By the way, you can't use these beds that you find in the wild. You can't repair them. You can't break them. They just are. All right, great. Now, there was a chest over here as well. So let's go ahead and get that. And, ooh, okay, we found some amber and we found some coins. So these are valuable items. And we learn a whole bunch of new things that we can do with money. Money is not much use to us right now, but like everything, it will be of use later. Now, let me finish the point that I was making. I'm going to keep this house just as a shelter. The point I was making is that the path of progression in this game works like this. You start in the meadows, and what you're going to do is just explore the meadows. as much as you can and pick up every single thing that you can get in the meadows, whether it's dropped from an enemy or whether it's dropped from the environment, and build every single recipe that you can, that you have access to at your workbench, upgrade everything that you have, and then you can fight the boss for that area. Once you're done with that, once you have built and upgraded everything and you have all the stuff, and you've beaten the boss, then you can go out and find another biome. In this case, it's the Black Forest. That is the second biome, okay? I'm not going to tell you what the other biomes are. I'm just going to tell you that that's kind of it. Then you go to the Black Forest, and what you do is you look for everything, you build everything, you fight a boss there, and then you should be strong enough to move on. Okay? Alright, so we're getting a ton of free wood, which is just amazing. And I'm going to break this workbench. And we're going to get all this stuff. And let's go. So we did get some free flint. Not as much as I'd like, but that's okay. By the way, you can break these fences, I believe. Oh, my hammer broke. All right, well, that's actually a problem. That's funny. I wasn't watching the durability for that. It's a problem because we can't build a workbench to repair our hammer without a hammer. So we just need to pick up 2 stone to craft a hammer on our own. And we can easily do that. But what I want to do is go to the river and get more flint. There's a piece of stone, for example. Alright, and let's see the map. And the river is running here, so let's go this way. Now, looks like Black Forest. Again, just look at your environment. You can see that the Black Forest is there with these pine trees, and we don't want to be there. There's just... I'm not going to spoil anything, but you're going to find, as you would expect, just tougher enemies. Oh, here's a little settlement, too. Little house. Okay, so if we want to interact with this house, we need to build a workbench. And to do that, we need a stone. And so let's just really focus on getting ourselves a stone somewhere. So look at the ground. There's mushrooms. That's good, but that's not what I want at the moment. I just want a stone. Oh, it's raining on us. And we've got the wet debuff. And we're about to lose our rested buff, which is criminal. But let's talk about that. Here we go. Here's a stone. So we got a stone. And I'm going to go right here. And I'm going to craft myself a hammer. I'm going to just put this hammer here, and I'm going to use the hammer to make a workbench, and we can put it, you know, right there. Okay. And then we can go in here, and there's no beehive, but there is shelter. There's also a chest that has some arrows. Great. We're losing our food, all of it, so let's eat a piece of honey. Let's eat our boar meat, our deer meat. And instead of eating this cooked boar meat, I'm actually going to eat mushrooms because I want stamina more, and this provides stamina. So there we go. We've lost our rested buff. Now we could get the rested buff back if we build a fire, but we need stone for that, and we need we just don't have that many right now. So we can go gather some. Now I'm going to kind of run down here. This is bad sledding because we're wet. We don't have the rested buff. All right. So this is going to be a little bit more difficult of a project for us. But this is good practice for what happens when you're out and it starts, a rainstorm picks up, and you need to get that rested buff back and stop being wet. Things like that. Okay. All right. So we're going to go close to the river, and there's a neck right there. You can see it. And let's fight a neck. Okay, we killed it easily. And it didn't drop its tail. That's too bad, but that's okay. Alright, so what we're going to do is look around this water. And here's a bunch of stones. In general, yeah, look at all this stones. That's great. By the water, you'll find a ton of stone. And I'm going to actually run back up to that workbench that we just built. The little house that we found. And... oh, wow. Oh, this is that stone that I saw earlier. Okay. I'm going to fight... I'm going to fight some of these here. We need all of this meat and leather, so we'll do it. So we're just going to get rid of these guys and get leather for armor. Here comes a grayling. Now, 2 at once is always hard, because generally your attacks will stagger them. Alright. And here comes the deer running back. Alright. Now, you'll see it's raining. I need to go back this way. And so it's hard to actually see where that little house that we found was, right? But here it is. I should have marked it on the map. I wasn't planning, and that's a good lesson. You need to plan. So let's push M, and let's open up the map. And I'm just going to put this little house icon here. And I'm just going to double-click, and I'm going to say, shelter. Okay, and then we're going to just build ourselves a fireplace right here. And you just want to kind of build it outdoors right there. And then you see I've got the fire. And, oh, it's going to, that's right, it's raining. Okay, so all we have to do is build ourselves a nice roof over the fire. Just going to attach it to this wall here. Oh boy. You'll see that the fire immediately starts back up after I do that. So now the fire is being sheltered by the roof. And I can come in here and I can just sit down. Okay. And I'm in shelter. There's a fire right here, but we can't get rested until we're not wet. And then now that the wet comes off, we can get our rested buff back. Oh, but we're not getting it now because there's an enemy that wants to attack us. Oh, and that's actually a gray dwarf. And this is a harder enemy. Okay, so, yeah, this guy might have come over from the Black Forest. Either way, he's more sinister. Oh, and I've caught myself on fire, but luckily I put myself out with the rain. Alright, so you'll see how the wet debuff just flies off of you when you're inside and having the fire affect you. If you need to build a door, you can do that. Also, what you can do is destroy one of these floor tiles and then build the fire inside, under one of these tiles in the house where the roof is broken, and then you can just have it indoors. But this works too. And then there we go. We got our rested buff back. Fantastic. If you want to build a bed in here and just wait until it's daytime, you can also do that. So we can just say, all right, I'm going to build a bed, and I'm going to put it like right here. Okay. And I'm going to need to build a roof over this, though. And we can just kind of like, you know, finish this up a little bit, make it nice. I can even go into here and build like a little door. Okay. Great. And you can see I'm still getting the fire buff, even though the fire is outside. And you have to claim the bed to sleep in it, which means this is now your spawn point. So if you die, you'll start here. But it's so close to our regular house over here that it's no problem, okay, by the circle. And we're going to sleep here to just make it daytime. I don't want to fight any more gray dwarves or anything like that. I'd much rather just be able to go collect this flint down by the riverbed without being annihilated. All right, fantastic. So it's the morning. We have our rested buff. It's still raining, but you can see we have a good amount of inventory space. We're weight clear to go pick up flint. We have 2 pieces, and that's our next job. We also have another queen bee to build, another hive at our house. We've got a ton of wood, so we're doing really, really well. And I think this is a good place to stop this 3rd tutorial episode. Everyone, I hope you're finding this useful. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.